mountain, I be on my ex-strippers, new killers, shot.
Hello ladies and gents, I am Jaylyn Renee. Welcome back to my channel. Alright ladies, so in today's video we are going to have some girl talk, okay? We finna get down to the nitty gritty. I got my red wine, I got my bomb lingerie on, okay? We about to have a good conversation. In other words, in today's video, I am going to be talking about a routine that I do after being intimate, or you can call it before, but I'm more so going to be focusing on after intimacy, and then I'll do a video speaking about what I do before intimacy, because I feel like the after part, let's just do the after part first. And let me tell you guys, this is important because guys talk more than women. Guys talk more than women, okay? So if a guy had an experience with you and you weren't smelling A1, I guarantee you that it was in a group text or it was talked about in the locker room. I'm telling you, I know, I've seen it, I've heard it. So that's why we finna make this video, because everybody doesn't know everything, right? I don't know everything, but I know that I've always had a passion for hygiene, and I always wanted to learn about, you know, hygiene. So here we are. So let's get into it. After intimacy, a girl, I know, I know if he did his job, if he did what he was supposed to do, if he came through how he was supposed to come through, you are going to be tired. You might even be falling asleep. You might not have any energy at all to get up. But what I'm going to say is, make sure you go and pee as soon as you can. And I'm saying this because regardless of if protection is used, regardless of where he finishes, something was inserted in you, right? Which means regardless of how clean the person is or whatever the case may be, there is some form of bacteria that has just entered through your vaginal canal, okay? And you want to get that out of there as soon as possible, right? So even if you're trying to have a baby, baby, once that stuff is in there, it's in there. It ain't going nowhere. It's already been shot at the club, okay? So it's already doing what it needs to do for you to get pregnant. So ensuring that you urinate after it went down is very important. One, because of pH, and I know we've had this discussion before. It's so easy to throw a woman's pH off, okay? So what I like to do, once I gather myself, and once I'm able to, okay, that may mean I need to take a nap, okay? But as soon as I wake up, I get up, I go and use the restroom. I pee, I get all that stuff out of me, that bacteria. I do my best to drain it out, okay? And then I follow up with a shower. Now, some nights I just can't do it, and I have to wait until the morning. Especially if it's late night, you done went multiple rounds, it just, you can't do it. So if it's one of those nights where I don't have it in me to get in the shower right away, I just make sure that I do urinate, and in the morning when I wake up, I hit the shower. Now here's one thing about me, and I'll do another video talking about my whole vaginal cleansing routine. But for this video, I'll keep it just as the after intimacy routine that I do. So when I do get in the shower, I focus my shower directly on my vaginal area, right? Because I want to get anything that didn't dry up. You know, I need to get all that out of there. So I'm going to drop this tea to y'all, and I don't know, some of you might be surprised, some of you might be thrown aback, but me personally, I don't wash my vagina with a rag. This is a big no-no for me. This rag is a harvester for bacteria. Obviously, this is a clean rag that I'm holding up. Yes, I've washed it, but it's still bacteria on it. Rags are not good to use on your private parts. I'm sorry, it is what it is, because they harvest bacteria. You hear people say, I don't use rags to dry my face because it harvests bacteria. So why would you put this on your vagina? It is literally a harvester for bacteria. And I will say, no, everybody has their own philosophy and their own routines. If you do use a rag, no shade to you. I just feel like if you're gonna use a rag, use it once, and it needs to be in the dirty clothes. Like, don't use the same rag for a week on your vagina. That's crazy. I don't care if that rag is designated for your vagina. No, you need to use it one time and get rid of it, because it's just collecting bacteria. It's literally collecting bacteria. It's collecting, as it sits there in the shower or the bath or whatever the case may be, day by day it's collecting bacteria, and you do not need to use that a second time on your private area. I don't use a loofah, none of that. I use this and this. I use my hands to cleanse my vagina. If you watch my shower routines, you know one of the first things I do when I get in the shower is cleanse my hands. I wash my hands through and through, under my nails, all of that good stuff. I wash my hands, and when it's time for me to wash my poom poom, I lather my hands with some good old soap. I like to use the Dove, just the natural original Dove bar. I also do use honey pot, and we'll get into that a little bit in a moment, but I lather my hand with a bar of that bar soap really well, lather it really well. I put this foot up, okay? I look at my vagina and I cleanse her. I don't know why it's a taboo for people to examine themselves and touch themselves and feel themselves, but you need to do it. You need to do it. You need to make sure everything is good down there. You need to make sure everything is intact down there. You need to make sure that you are cleansing every crease and crack, everything. You need to get up in there, girl. Because if you don't, you're going to smell. You have to cleanse it. You have to cleanse it. Now, I know some people, there's an argument. Some people can say, oh, you're not supposed to use soap. You're supposed to use water. For me personally, I'm going to use soap, okay? If water works for you, no judgment. It is what it is. But this is my video, and I'm sharing my routine. So I get it up in there with my hands. I make sure everything is cleansed. Anything that has dried up, anything that's sticky, whatever the case may be, I get it and I cleanse it really well, okay? So again, for after intimacy, my main concern is my vagina or my poom poom, because, you know, she got some work overtime, okay? So once I'm out of the shower, I dab her dry. So I dab my poom poom dry. I don't like to, again, stick any rags or towels up in there because bacteria harvesters, right? And then if I know that I'm not going to be intimate for at least the next 3 days. So if I'm coming off a weekend, more than likely I'm probably not gonna get it in for at least 3 days. So I stick a suppository. I use a suppository and I stick it up in my vagina, and that's going to help maintain my pH balance, because we all know anything can throw off your pH, but especially sex. If you're using condoms can throw it off. So using a suppository is going to aid in maintaining your pH balance, and honestly, that's the most important thing of this video today. So I'm going to show you guys the suppositories that I use and how I use them and the benefits that I've seen from them. Alright, so all the suppositories that I use, here goes one, for example. This is by the Honey Pot. I've been using this one since they released it, y'all. I always keep a box literally underneath my cabinet and my little girly kits. These are everything. They work so good. So all the ones I use, again, are formulated with boric acid. Boric acid, and I'm reading from my phone here. Boric acid helps to promote the proper acid balance in the vagina. It is used to treat yeast infections in the vagina and relieve symptoms such as itching and burning. Okay, so the good thing about these suppositories is they already have the boric acid in it. So these are going to prevent easily yeast infections. They're going to prevent BV, because again, if you're having sex, that's something that can easily throw your pH balance and cause BV and other infections. So when you use one of these right away after being intimate, you're kind of like killing two birds in one stone, right? Not saying that you're gonna get a yeast infection or BV if you don't use one of these, but it helps, okay? It helps. I would say, me personally, I don't do this every time after intimacy, but I do try to use it at least once a month, the beginning of the month more than likely, or you can time it around when you can time it around your menstrual cycle. So as you may or may not know, your menstrual cycle is a cleanser in and of itself, because it's just cleansing out your canal completely. So that's a cleanser on its own. So maybe like 2 weeks after you have your menstrual cycle, you can go ahead and use one of these. It's really up to you, but for me, I kind of time it by intimacy, right? You know, you have that week after you have your menstrual, then you're gonna have your fertile week, which, depending on if you're trying to get pregnant or not, you may be going at it like crazy with the intimacy, or you might be kind of chilling out with the intimacy, and that depends on what type of protection you use as well. But depending on, again, what you choose to do, I kind of like to do mine towards the end of the month. My menstrual cycle has already been done. And you know, I'm kind of closing out the month, so this is a perfect treatment. A lot of my body care treatment or skin care treatments, I'll just go ahead and pop one of these in. Especially, like I said, honey, we get down over here on the weekends. Like, you know, especially with people that work Monday through Friday, you got a 9 to 5. The weekends is where it gets on and popping, okay? So popping one of these in on Sunday night, chef kiss, perfect, because by Wednesday you're gonna be cleansed and refreshed and ready to get it back going again, okay? Another one that I have on deck is the Love Wellness. This brand is really good too. I really like these for like, if you know that you're gonna have a wild weekend, these are really good to throw in, because unlike These ones have boric acid in as well, but unlike the honey pot ones, I feel like you can do intimacy a little bit quicker. If you know that you about that life, like I said, no judgment on here. If you know you about that life and you know you finna get intimate with somebody one day and then maybe a couple of days later you gonna get intimate with somebody else, these are perfect. Because you can kind of still have intimate moments a little bit quicker than waiting 3 to 7 days. You know, with the honey pot ones, they suggest that you wait a little bit longer. So yeah, for my girls that have the hot girl summers and the hot girl winters and the hot girl falls, pick up some of these love wellnesses, okay? So obviously, on top of all that, I'm always going to recommend you see your OBGYN. You know, guys, I'm kind of a hypocrite with this because I'm not really big on seeing doctors, but I can say that twice a year I do go see my OBGYN, especially since I'm getting a little bit older. I just want her to, you know, make sure my hormones are on track and things like that. And anytime I have an issue or something going on, you know, or something I'm concerned about, if I notice that maybe I'm just sweating a little bit more down there or different things, you know, it could be a hormonal imbalance. It could be something going on, you know. Always make sure you're keeping on track with your OBGYN. Make sure you have an OBGYN, guys. It's so important for you. Not gonna really go into details about my dislike for doctors, but I will say that it is important to have one, and it is important to still get in front of that doctor at least twice a year, ladies, at least, especially if you are sexually active. Get yourself tested. I get myself tested. Honestly, I'm in a relationship now, so I don't really get myself tested, but when we first started dating, when we first started getting sexual, I'm definitely going to get a test. I need to know what's going on. I need to know what's up. Okay, so we're here on this channel. We are all about sex education. We are all about healthy sex. We're all about clean, fresh smelling sex, okay? Because again, don't no man want to throw your legs back and you get ghosted. That's not a good look, child. That's not a good look. So yes, I hope you ladies and gents really enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know if you guys use your hands. Because I've been doing it for years and never had an issue here. Never had an issue. Never, ever, ever. And never will. Okay. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.